See, you've got 12 drivers on the grid right now. Combination of the GT300 and the GT3 cars on our conscious today. Pablo Lopez currently is topping the session. We're currently in qualifying, as you can see, just under 10 minutes to go. As I'm going to scroll up and down the field. I'm in control of the cameras today, by the way, which is the end is near for us all. But yeah, I'm currently watching on the GT3 cars, Moises Reyes. We're on the set of courses today, by the way. We've been on Automobilista for the last few weeks. That I've been doing some commentating for RACE9. I've been enjoying myself doing the NASCAR, the IndyCar over the last few weeks, and they've all been very entertaining indeed. So we're on to Assetto Corsa here now for this particular week, and yeah, hopefully it's runs all smoothly. We've had a load of issues, by the way, trying to get this work, which might be why we're a little bit late, but finally we're going again, and the fact that we are going means that Carlos Frau can now go and qualify. He was the man sorting everything out for me and for everybody for you to enjoy at home. So yeah, we all have to say, and a thank you to him, because he was putting up with my stupidity throughout much of the sorting out process that we had a few minutes ago. But he's going to be out there in a moment. I'll try and go look for him now, see if I can find him. Maybe. But, taking a lot of scrolling so far. I'm not entirely sure what all these buttons do right now, by the way. Well, I was trying to work things out earlier. Oh, here he is. Oh, that's not him. That's Moises Reyes again. Martin Jacek in the Mercedes. Here's Carlos Frau in the Subaru GT300 car, which is one of the kind of ones that you see in Super GT, the very fun-looking ones, and a very nice sound as well. I have to see if I can go on board with him right now. Well, oh, no, that's not going to do it. What about this? Ah, here we are. Listen to that sound from the Subaru as we go on board with the Spaniard at the moment. He actually won the last race. The opening round was a couple of weeks ago at the Fuji Speedway. It was a little bit of a longer race at 250 kilometers long, but that's going to end up being the longest race this season unless things change dramatically, because all the races have been shortened by 100 kilometers in terms of their length. So we initially had a series of 250 and 300 kilometer races, but now we've got 200 kilometer and 150 kilometer races instead, because of the amount of time that they actually take. So we've just shortened them up ever so slightly. On board, though, with one of our GT300 cars, and it's absolutely fantastic to listen to. Just take a listen to this for a moment. Absolutely fantastic. Going down towards turn 1. Carlos Frau trying to get the car turned in. Let's go back to... Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. See it from the outside. But yeah, a great circuit as well. The Fuji Speedway. Very, very tricky. I haven't actually commentated very much on this circuit, but I think it's absolutely fantastic. F1 not been here since the late 2000s, and I think that is personally a bit of a shame. But it's one of those that's a real stalwart of Super GT racing, and that's the kind of style of racing we've got going on here tonight. That's not the camera angle we wanted. Here we are. Go and jump up and down the order then and see. Well, that's our car. Here we are. Got some of the cars in the pit lane at the moment. They're currently on the top of the standings. Just over 5 minutes to go. Pablo Lopez is leading from Sven Gilhode, who took the pole position in that class a couple of weeks ago at Fuji, the opening round. This is the second round, but unfortunately Gilhode withdrew from the actual race in that one. There were 9 cars on the grid for that race, but already got 14 on the grid for this one, so fantastic to see everybody jumping up and down the order a little bit as well. Lucas Miranda, I saw just moving up slightly there. We only have 3 GT300 cars last time. We've got Lopez, Gilhode, I believe we've got Carlos Frau again in GT300, and Carl Magnus Borre is in there along with Alessandro Valente and Konstantin Grimminger, who's normally alongside me in the commentary box, but today it's just me. So I apologise for that. But yes, it's nevertheless good to be here. Of course, we have the GT3 class as well, which is currently being led by Moises Reyes in the Audi, 4 tenths ahead of Jesus Turanos, who is in second in that class at the moment, and came 5th in the GT3 race here for the opening round. It was a DNF for it now, I'm afraid. So we're currently looking at a GT3 car from Carl Magnus Borre. It doesn't sound like a BMW at all, does it? Let's listen. Oh, it does on board, but not from off board. Don't know what's up with that, but here we are. On board with the Swedish driver, going a little bit wide there into a very tricky corner at turn 6, that is. It's called hairpin, rather imaginatively, but it comes right after 100R, which is one of the most interesting corners you can get anywhere, I think. See who else we can find. Oh, who else we can find up and down the order. There's Moises Reyes again in the Audi. Finally worked out what I'm doing with these buttons now. Here's Konstantin Grimminger, sporting a livery which is advertising his own design work. Here you can see on the side the CGD on the sides. Konstantin Grimminger Designs, I think it stands for. Pretty sure it does. So there you go. German driver came 3rd place in the GT300 race, the season opener. There's Alessandro Valente, by the way, Italian driver. Just 2.5 minutes left in qualifying here now, but difficult to see who's going to be actually setting a lap time anytime soon, because it's not going to be Valente. You can take that for free. Maybe Grimminger will be saying one right now. As I mentioned, 43 laps around here, but the race isn't going to take quite as long as I thought, actually. It's going to be less than an hour and a quarter because of the slightly shortened distances that we have around this season now. It's only a 200-kilometre race, over 43 laps. Grimminger goes into 9th, but oh no, he is in 9th right now. Seems to be slowing down before the line, though. Massively slows down before the line. I don't know if he ran out of fuel or whatever, but that's going forwards in the order, not backwards. Here we are. Martin Jaksek coming over the line right now. Looks like he's actually improving. Maybe. So he goes under the bridge there, and does he improve? No, not really. I'm trying to work out what some of these graphics actually mean here, but Lopez comes over the line again. Alfie Bevan hasn't really set a competitive lap time just for the moment, but he might be about to in his Audi. Currently down in 13th out of 14, but representative lap times are still yet to come in for Carlos Alvarez and Valente as well. Here is Alvarez, speaking of the devil, in quite a nice livery there, as you can see, CMP Corset. The number 24 car, as Lucas Miranda jumps up to 6th place. Alvarez goes over the line and isn't going to improve any with that kind of uptime. In the wrong way again, here we are. Valente, with a much better sounding BMW than it does in real life. With the GT3 configuration. This Carlos Frau's in 4th place at the moment in GT300. It's GT3 for Valente, but jumps up only to 12th, which you might be a little bit disappointed with. Alfie Bevan's currently last then on the grid. As time runs out here in qualifying, most of the people are actually in the pit lane right now. Improvements to come in from some of these guys. Maybe one for Paulo Lopez, but it looks like he's going to take pole anyway. Oh, he does improve again. Pablo Lopez nearly a second now in front of Sven Gilhode. That's a big margin at the front of GT300, I believe they're in at the moment. With the Subarus, as Alfie Bevin comes over the line. What lap time he's going to set? It's a 1 minute 41.1. He goes into 8th place and he's quite pleased with himself. He just completely spears off the road in celebration. Carlos Alvarez is the final man to really set a representative lap time in this session, but where's it going to be for him? Final man to come across the line to complete qualifying. This looks like it's going to be a decent time from him, actually. 1.3 seconds down on Alfie Bevin and a little bit further away from the rest. 13th place for him in qualifying. 3.7 seconds off the pace, but it's Pablo Lopez who takes pole in round 2 of the RACE9 GT Asia Championship. 10-round season. And we already had 1 round. The championship leader in GT3, who is Adrian Carmona, by the way, Spanish driver, is not returning for this round, which is not the first time we've seen this in RACE9 so far in the last few weeks. Often does happen like that. Thankfully, well, I'm hoping that I don't have to press any buttons here to spectate for the race, because I don't know how to, but we'll see how that one goes in this one. But yeah, GT3 currently in the championship being led by Adrian Carmona. Then Lucas Miranda came in second ahead of Andre Leite, who's not here either. Johannes Berto, I haven't spotted him so far, so he's not... Oh, no, he is there, sorry. 10th place in the Nissan. And Jesus Chirinos is 5th, but didn't score any points because he retired from the race in GT300. It is Carlos Frau leading Pablo Lopez and Konstantin Grimminger in that class. So yeah, all entrants in the GT300 category using the Subaru BRZ. As you can see from these guys right now. We'll be moving into the race soon, and here we are. Coming in for the race. There is a car attributed to... oh, no, sorry, that's in the pit lane. That's all right. We're going to go to the front where Pablo Lopez is. He's going to roll off first here in Fuji. But yeah, this is the second and final Fuji race we have on the GT Asia Championship for 2021. But it's not despite its name, it's not a series that competes solely in Asia. We go to Suzuka for round 3, or Topolis for round 4, and then we go to a double header at Motegi for rounds 5 and 6, then heading over to Thailand for our first overseas race in that country outside of Japan for round 7, and then we go to Malaysia for the Sepang International Circuit. That's round 8. Then we make the trip over to Germany for the final 2 rounds of this season. The Nürburgring and then the Lausitz Ring is where this finale is going to play out. That's all to come in the distant future. 10th of July is going to be the finale of GT Asia with a 150-kilometre race. A real short one. An hour in length. This one's going to be about an hour and 15. 200 kilometres in length on the menu today. As the lights come on now. And we get ready for 43 laps. Looks like a decent start from one of the Audis in the middle there. Reyes just about getting through the middle. But on the outside at the moment, it is Pablo Lopez who's getting absolutely stormed here. Steaming down the inside. Go a couple of those cars. Lopez has been half-spun himself. And that's not been a good start by any stretch of the imagination. Pablo Lopez is down to 7th as Carlos Frau takes the lead. Around the outside goes Lucas Miranda into turn 3, and he takes 2nd place away from Sven Gilhode, who's in the BMW at the moment. There's a few spinners in the background, and that's Martin Jacek, who has gone around, as well as Johannes Berto, Andre Leite. Konstantin Grimminger has been caught up in that. So's Pablo Lopez. It's been a messy start for those up front, as we've got some tyre differences to talk about as well, but the top 3 at the moment, all on the soft compound of tyres. What a messy start that was, though, for some. GT300 and the overall race being led by Carlos Frau. who won the GT300 race last time out around this circuit. Lucas Miranda is winning GT3, as Martin Jacek already a DNF from this one, I'm afraid. But big problems for a lot of guys further down the order. It's very, very close at the front at the moment, though. Carlos Frau, Lucas Miranda, Sven Guhod, Alfie Bevin, Jesus Tyrannos. As wide goes Miranda there. And it's free wide off the corner almost with another Audi and one of the Lamborghinis of Jesus Tyrannos. Here comes Moyes Reyes as well, through in the middle. Trying to get up the order, side by side between the two Audis behind Jesus Tyrannos, who's in the slipstream of his own right now, trying to get through on Alfie Bevin. Maybe he can go to the outside and make a move now. Hasn't really got the performance on the brakes for that, or has he? Round the outside he goes, pushed out wide onto the curb, but it's not going to be good enough for him. Alfie Bevin stays in third place. Oh, look at these four, very, very close going into turn 3. And now around the Coca-Cola curve as up front. A change for the lead. Round the outside goes Sven Guhod, and into the lead he goes. He was third not so long ago, but he overtakes Alfie Bevin and, well, Lucas Miranda first of all, and then Alfie Bevin, and then Carlos Frau to get up to the lead of this race. Further back, there's changing of positions between Miranda and Reyes. Miranda now on the outside line, but the next corner's the right-hander, I'm afraid, so it's going to be very difficult for him to hold on from here. And indeed he can't. Has to slot in behind. Not much slotting in behind going on behind though. Valente and Lopez, I think. No, sorry, that was Carlos Magnus Borre, who's gone way off. And he drops all the way down to 11th place. Very, very busy opening few moments of this race though. Thank you, Hud leads then, as they come to complete lap 2. Still 41 for these guys to negotiate though. A long race ahead. As I said, a race in length of maybe around an hour and 15, an hour and a half, somewhere around that kind of margin. As there's changes of positions going on further back. There's Johannes Berto, by the way. He's got a wonky front wing at the moment. Meanwhile, Pablo Lopez on a bit of a charge. He had a terrible start from the lead. A really shocking start. But he needs to make some time up because he's on the softs right now. Talking to Carlos Frau, as I mentioned before the race, and he was saying about how the medium tyres really do not get up to temperature in any way. And, well, we're not seeing that too much right now. Maybe Reyes was feeling the effects of that in the opening laps because he was third off the start, but has dropped now down to 5th place. But no such issues really for Alfie Bevin there. He was able to go up the field quite nicely, really. The moment on the curb there for Alfie Bevin, speaking of him a moment ago. But didn't have the best, most controlled line through there. Now into this final sector. Some very late apexes in these. And it means that there's an opportunity, a window of opportunity for you to go down the inside quite often. And we've already seen it once or twice. And then an awfully long front straight to go down. Some great sounding cars as you can hear right now, by the way. As Carlos Frau just takes a 10th out of Sven Guilho, but they're both quicker than those in behind. Although nobody's quicker than Pablo Lopez at the moment, who's catching everybody. Here he is on your screen right now. The number 53 CMP Corsa Subaru. Reeling in Lucas Miranda. He's got 4 V10 engined cars in front of him right now. Oh, no, he hasn't anymore because he's gone for a spin at turn 3. Just before the Coca-Cola curve. And that's going to set him back once again. He's the fastest car on this circuit, but there's not much you can do about it if you keep spinning off, I'm afraid. And that's exactly what Pablo Lopez has just done. Speaking of which, Jesus Tyrannos has also been off the road. And again, Lopez goes off. Lopez went off for a second time there. Dear me, a lot of action going on here. And I'm afraid quite a few spins as well. Coban Espori and Andre Leite defending and overtaking each other, going into the hairpin right now. Leite goes wide and deep into the right-hander. So can he hold on to the position or not? This is the 13th corner coming up. And he just about gets through, stays through at the moment. Oh, Chirinos goes around again. The Venezuelan not having the best of times as things stand. He loses places again. Still side by side between Borre and Leite. Brazilian versus the Swede. As Carlos Frau continues to close in up front. Another 3/10 of a second taken out of the Dutch driver Sven Gilhode. Took pole position in the opener at Fuji. Took pole in the Daytona 250 as well that we had a few weeks ago in .RACE9. Johannes Berto setting his fastest lap of the race. But I'm afraid he's got a wonky rear wing at the moment. We can only presume what's happened to him off at the start. Been rear-ended by somebody by the looks of it. Now in real life, these Subaru BLZs are, or BLZs if you're from the other side of the Atlantic. They're lighter than these GT3 homologated manufactured cars from the likes of BMW and Audi, which we've got up the front right now. And that means their tyre wear is less, and they benefit from that. So I just wonder if we're going to see that come into play at any point in this battle, because both of these guys on your screen right now are leading their class. They're racing in two different classes, but they would mighty love to win this race overall. Not only just in their respective classes. Frau does tend to get a good exit off of the final corner. And he's got a big slipstream as well from that BMW, which is punching a big hole in the airframe right now. And the gap closes massively as they go over the line, almost side by side. Carlos Frau pulls to the inside line of Sven Gilhode as they complete lap 5, go on to lap 6. Flames coming out the exhaust of the Subaru right now as he brakes super late, but Gilhode's got the outside line, this wider sweeping line. He's going to use it to his advantage right now to retake the lead as they go around the corner. As they go into turn 3, Gilhode takes a slightly defensive line and continues on in first place. The battles further back are dying down, but Konstantin Grimminger is still going very quickly. Jesus Chirinos, I think, has been in the pit lane unless he's had another big disaster. Meanwhile, DNF for Carl Magnus Borre. He was spun around not so long ago, but now he's definitely out of the race. Real shame to see for him. That leaves us with 2 retirements from the 14 starters we had at the start of round 2. Martin Jackson and Carl Magnus Borre both out in the Mercedes and the BMW respectively. Another Mercedes on your screen right now. It's Andre Leite braking very late into the hairpin, which is turn 10. Came third last time out in the season opener. But he's currently losing points once again to Lucas Miranda, who would likely take the championship lead if things were to stay as they are right now, which they're probably not going to do. It's Konstantin Grimminger, who's closed up to Alessandro Valente, as you can see. The Italian, it was a... Let's have a look at the time as I come under the bridge now. 1 minute 42.5, but 6 tenths quicker for Grimminger. Alvarez now under a little bit of pressure here from Leite. So it's front row versus CMP course. And it's very close once again. A brilliant livery, by the way, on on the car of Alvarez as Leyte now gets to the inside at the Coca-Cola curve, and it's so close between them. This is the corner where you don't want to go side by side if you can avoid it, and that's exactly why Alvarez gets on the curve on the outside and nearly loses the car. Leyte around the outside, goes on the grass though, and Alvarez powers through on the inside, retakes the place. A good fight between them though. It's all allowing Pablo Lopez to catch up. Oh, as through goes Stan Grimminger and off onto the tarmac. Goodness me. A lot of drama early on in this race. As this battle becomes a 3-car battle. Have a look on board. With the man who qualified on pole here today. Just listening to that Subaru engine, it's absolutely beautiful. Closing in once again, Andre Leyte on Carlos Alvarez. Although he did lose 3/10 that lap. Lopez gained on both of them. Although he did go a bit wide into turn 1. Going to get a better exit off of the corner because of that. But not the ideal way you want to be taking that corner, really. This is where he spun last time. Now, let's see how edgy this car is through there. Oh, speaking of, there's an edgy car just up in front. Look at that round. He goes. Dear, oh dear. Andre Leyte goes around. And Johannes Berto might fancy his chances now. Although he's not quite close enough. I was going to try and comment on how edgy the car of Pablo Lopez was. I wasn't expecting to see a spinning Mercedes in front of the Spaniard. As now, there's a bit of a Carlos Alvarez sandwich going on as Konstantin Grimminger goes off at the hairpin for the second lap in a row. Has to go through the chicane and actually gains a bit of time from it. Lopez down the inside of Alvarez into turn 13. As meanwhile up front, Evan and Reyes battle side by side between the two Audis. Oh, very close to contact between the two. Absolutely side by side, neck and neck between the two Audis. As they go across the line absolutely together. Alfie Bevan's on the inside line. He's going to try and defend, but he can't. Reyes goes steaming around the outside. Has he managed to pull it up in time? Yes, he has. Through he goes. Meanwhile, Curinos is into the pit lane again. So he's lost a bit of time. Pablo Lopez did get through on Carlos Alvarez. Pablo Lopez continuing his march up the field. He is actually quickest man out there, but his first lap disaster and his spin a little bit earlier really putting paid to his chances of achieving very much in this race. He's on the soft tyres right now as well, which might explain a bit of pace, but so are some of those around him, like Grimminger and Alvarez, who he's battling with right now. Valente just in front is on the mediums, but he's in a BMW right now, in a GT3 car. Very close. Pablo Lopez right on the back of Grimminger. He's going to try and go down the inside line, but there's not much space there. Somehow he's managed to pull the car up in time. Grimminger makes the corner as well. There's contact between the two through turn 11. Stern defending from Grimminger. Lopez not able to find a way through right now. A tight battle between these two. And there was one definitely last time out in Fuji as well, the opening round. Lopez came second in that race. Grimminger was third. Well, it's a 3-car entry again for GT300 this round. There's more GT3 cars than last time, but the same amount of GT300s. And if Lopez were to be able to get through, we'd be in exactly the same order as we were 2 weeks ago. Oh, more than 2 weeks ago now. Here comes Lopez, down the inside into turn 1. Can Grimminger defend? No, not really. He tries to brake late, but he goes very wide. and gifts the position to the Spaniard, who is now setting his sights on Alessandro Valente. Good fight between the two of them, though, as we go up towards the two Audis. Moyes, Reyes, and Alfie Bevin. Battling to be the lead Audi here. This is the battle for the actual lead between Sven Gilhode and Carlos Frau. Barely been more than a second for the first 10 laps of this race. It's been like this the entire time. The GT300 car is very strong in a straight line. We'll go on board right now to get a look at that. Well, that's a very good exit from the Dutchman that time. Let's take a look at the slipstream effect and the straight line speed that this Subaru has got. He's going to gain an awful lot here, it's Carlos Frau. As they go under the bridge, he gains about 2 tenths. Braking into turn 1. No moves being made just for the moment. Been an entertaining first quarter to this race. Certainly a lot of drama, a lot of action. And the pit stop strategy is set to take shape, really. In the not too distant future. Is Alessandro Valente, who is being caught by Pablo Lopez fairly quickly. Valente on the medium tyres at the moment, though, which might explain a little bit of the pace difference between them. Good exit from Lopez out of the 6th corner there. There's a lot of corners right here that aren't really corners, I'm afraid, so it's very difficult to work out the numbers, to be honest, but Lopez doesn't need to worry about that. He goes very, well, a little bit wide into the hairpin. Through 11, 12, and here's 13. Final sector that makes some people want to be sick, but very good overtaking opportunity. Lopez pulls to the outside, trying to get a better run than the BMW. It looks like he's going to do that. Absolutely no problem at all. Valente already goes to defend. Big slipstream right now for Lopez, so they're going to go side by side down the straight. He's going to get him even before the line here, is Pablo Lopez. Straight through. The straight line speed on that Subaru, completely overpowering the BMW. Oh, but on the brakes, Valente is willing to give this one another go. Cut back for Lopez, contact between them, and somehow Valente's come out the other side with the position again. Very evenly matched, these two, but contact through turn 1. Let's see if Lopez can use any of the pace he's got right now to get up the inside into the Coca-Cola curve, maybe. Oh, it's very, very wide for Valente. He's going to go so deep into turn 6, and surely now Lopez is going to be through. Yes, he is indeed, and Grimminger might follow him. He does. On something, Grimminger gets into 7th, and from 6th to 8th goes Alessandro Valente. As I said, on the medium tyres, so he might come into his own later on. But for now, he's got some catching up to do. Speaking of catching up to do, Carlos Frau's just about done it. 4 tenths of a second is the margin. And he gains another 10th. He's got the pace for a move here, surely, as well. These two have just been trading lap times. You can see on the leaderboard on the left-hand side, it does show the lap times every lap as these guys come over the line. And you can barely see any difference between Gilhode and Frau at any point, really. in this race. It's just very close between them. Very, very close. Ewan hasn't got very much of a margin going into the final sector here, which is unusual. And maybe Frau's going to throw the inside, but I think it's too early for that kind of thing. He's also leading his class, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on. Both of these guys are leading their class, so I wonder if they'll fall into line for the moment and battle later, or not battle at all. I hope that's not quite the case, but you get the feeling Frau might be holding something back right now. Getting a big slipstream, though. Onto the back of Sven Gilhard, and they're going to be side by side across the line, it looks like. The Spaniard goes to the inside, but we've seen already that the BMW is very strong on the brakes, especially into turn one. Frau just about takes it over the line, but is Gilhard going to give him some trouble into turn one? No. Although Frau's created some trouble for himself, I'm afraid. He goes very wide through the first turn, and he loses it immediately. He loses the place. Meanwhile, Alfie Bevin and Moyes Reyes are going side by side into turn one as well. This is for third place overall. Reyes at the inside line. Bevin's trying to take third back away, though, from the CMP course car. Very close again. Going down to turn three. Round the outside for Reyes. He's going to get the inside for the next corner, but that doesn't matter because he's already lost the place. Further back as well, Valente and Grimminger won't leave each other alone. Lucas Miranda's made a bit of a mistake, so he's dropped to 6th place behind Pablo Lopez. But Miranda still in front, Valente still in front of Grimminger. But for how much longer? Oh, very close again to a big moment. A big crash that could have been. Meanwhile, further back as well, Carlos Alvarez has lost the place to Johannes Berto in the Nissan. In a great livery. It's just a shame that he's got a wonky rear wing at the moment, as you can see. Not quite lined up. As I mentioned earlier, can only presume he's been rear-ended. Oh, Grimminger again. Battling again. But once again, failing to get through on Alessandro Valente as Berto and Alvarez battle now. The CMP Corsa car is very close. But not close enough. Oh, he might not have needed to be. Big slides going on for the Nissan. Oh, and that's off for Alvarez, but keeps it going. What about Grimminger now? We know that these Subarus have the straight line speed on the BMWs especially. But not necessarily the braking performance. That's what Grimminger needs for this move to pay off, and it hasn't. So has it? No. He showed the nose. There was no point sticking it in there, because Valente's gone wide on his own. He's got a good exit, though, and he will be okay to hold on to that place. Oh, very wide from both Berto and Alvarez there. Nothing comes of that fight. Pretty much constant battling going on at the moment, and it is brilliant to watch. I'm sort of amazed that Grimminger's not been able to find a way through just for the moment, but it doesn't really matter because he's still going to be third in his class no matter what happens. Let's not forget, he's driving a GT300 car, battling with the GT3 as further up the field, Carlos Frau gets to the inside, or doesn't get to the inside, but he is through. Sven Gilhard dives it down the inside again. Frau not able to go for the cutback, not able to hold it round the outside either, and so Gilhard takes the lead again. 15 laps completed of this race, and these two are yet to leave each other alone, yet to make a mistake, either of them. Let's see when the pit stops begin to come as well, because these two both on the softs right now. Battle's going on further down. Valente and Grimminger again. Grimminger now finally to the inside. He parks the bus, and that is very well done. Meanwhile, Guhud and Frau battle again. Into the hairpin, and Frau goes through. So finally now is the Subaru coming into its own and starting to run away in terms of its pace from the BMW. Doing so at the moment. Into the pit lane though comes Sven Guhud. There it is, first pit stop that we have seen. It's a tricky pit entry here as well. There he is though. At the end of lap 16. Tyres starting to go off and he's in. Here come the two Audis. Here are Grimminger and Valente. They both go off out of the penultimate corner, but it doesn't matter because Grimminger's gone more off and Valente's through. But he's going to have a big problem on his hands now, with Grimminger crawling all over the back of him. And if either of these trying to pit, no. Grimminger powers through. The straight line speed of that Subaru is quite astonishing. Where's Guhud going to come out? Oh, Grimminger's just completely disappeared. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide into turn one. All the extra speed has really hampered him there, oddly enough, as Alvarez comes into the pit lane as well. So we are into the pit stop cycle for those on the soft tyres early on. It's softs again for Guhud. Grimminger trying to get through on Valente. Just not quite happening at the moment. Bevan and Reyes getting quite close as well. Lots of different battles going on. Sven Guhud's not too far behind these two either. Grimminger goes to the outside, but he's gone deep into the hairpin a couple of times already this race. Doesn't want to do it again. And doesn't want to do what Valente has just done. Defending hard. Having to defend hard. As in the background, Leite gets in front of Berto, but look at him. Sven Guhud is on the back of these guys. Oh, Valente, big slide. And Grimminger is looking for any way through right now that he can get. This is costing Guhud a little bit of time, let's not forget. He's coming out the pit lane, trying to do a bit of an undercut on Carlos Frau, who's currently leading this race. As wide goes Valente. Grimminger's going to get the exit off of the corner, a bit of a slide. Valente pulls to the right. Is he defending or is he going in the pit lane? He is pitting. Is he? No. It doesn't matter though, because Grimminger's going to get straight through anyway. Maybe Valente's going to be back down the inside. Oh, they both go deep into the corner. Make a bit of contact as well. And look who it is. It's Sven Guhud on the inside of both of them. He's going to get the cutback. He's going to get 2 in 1. Grimminger tries to go down the outside of both of them. Oh, that would be brave. It was brave. How did that one turn out? Oh, it turned out in a crash. Grimminger's around. Valente's nearly around. And he is. Leite and Berto go through. Grimminger ends up gaining the place as well. But that was messy. Dear, oh dear me. Dearie me. Huh. That kind of a fight. A lot at stake. A lot of cars and not very much road. And we'll see how Sven Guhud's lap times will do now that he's out on a new set of soft tyres. There's a 41.4 I think I saw there for Carlos Frau. There is Sven Guhud, by the way, as look at Andre Leite and Johannes Berto, because they're going to be caught by Grimminger and Valente soon, you'd imagine. What's the lap time for Georhode? It is a 40.7. 7/10 of a second gained by Georhode on that lap time. Deary me. What a messy lap that was, especially going down into turn 3. Grimminger didn't have very much space to go down the inside there. And there was contact. Unfortunately, the cameras did just switch away briefly there while we were looking at that battle, so we missed the contact point. But can't imagine it was good. Grimminger's going to try and make some progress back up the field, though, starting with Johannes Berto, who's not too far in front of him. Sven Georg is flying, though. He's catching up to cars, or a car, left, right and centre right now. Here is the fight. 5th place overall, and 3rd place in the GT3 class. Oh, wide for Miranda. Oh, Georg has to brake, to not hit him there. As Reyes and as Bebin and Reyes battle as well. Out the corner they go. Georg was through because Miranda's gone slightly off the road, but can Alfie Bebin get through on Moyes Reyes? These two have been battling so hard so far in this race. But for now, it's just not quite settling down. Alfie Bebin still can't find a way through. Switches to the outside line now. Trying to get a better exit, maybe to have a go into the hairpin. It's going to be difficult for him. These guys continuing to lose time to Carlos Frau, who leads, coming up towards the end of lap 20. Reyes went a little bit defensive into the hairpin. Oh, and Bebin's now going to get a good line, a good cutback. Tried to maybe switch it up and go down the inside at turn 13 there. Didn't go for it. Forced Reyes out wide though, trying to get inside for the next corner. But that's not worked out quite as well as he'd hoped either. Maybe the final corner he will go for one. But once again, Reyes covers it off. There's going to be a big slipstream once again for the Audi to try and get through again. Reyes goes to the middle of the road to defend because the pit lane entry is on the right-hand side. Now he fully goes to the pit wall. He's not celebrating victory. He's trying to prevent one from going up the road. Bevin goes to the outside line into turn 1. It was a good few attempts quicker last lap. Might be able to use some of that extra pace now, but it's good defending from Reyes. Keeps it on the inside line, parks the bus and throws away the key, but Bevin's breaking his way in right now down the inside into turn 3. Can Reyes hold it round the outside here? Not quite. He gave it a good effort, but there just wasn't quite enough grip there for him. Meanwhile, Ben Georg has just set the fastest lap of his race on that last lap, a 40.1. Going into the 39s, and that's qualifying pace. At the back, Grimminger's got through on Berto and Valente once again. By the way, as Valente's into the pit lane, but Reyes and Bebin battle again. Oh, late on the brakes for Reyes, and now maybe he can actually get the inside line for the next corner and take this. Oh, and Bebin does a beautiful switchback, a fantastic switchback, and he's through. Or is he? Reyes chucks it down the inside again in the CMP Corsa car. Hang it round the outside at the penultimate corner. Maybe throw it down the inside at the final one. But a great fight between these two. It is costing them time. It's entertaining. And that's all that matters really, isn't it? At the end of the day. Further back, AT versus Grimminger is going on. Oh, the Mercedes very deep in the brakes there. At the hairpin. Grimminger tries to go for the cutback, but has a slide of his own. And it's going to be very difficult for him to do anything from that position. Oh. Go back up front again, because Reyes is defending again from Bevan. Bevan gets the cutback though through turn 1. And he gets the position again into turn 3. Reyes sends it down the inside. Bevan on the switchback. Once again for the second time in 2 corners. Now he's round the outside at the Coca-Cola turn. It would be brave if he was managed to pull that off, but the respectful racing room given a mile of width between them. Bevan's got the inside line for the next corner at turn 6. And Reyes concedes the place for now, I should add, because it's not over. Reyes falls in behind. Leite and Grimminger also fight. Grimminger got through briefly, but now he is behind again. Although Lopez is catching up to both Bevan and Reyes right now because of the fighting that they are doing, which is just unhealthy at certain points, but as I mentioned, it is entertaining, so we'll let them off. Grimminger does get through on Leite finally. It looks like the Brazilian did make a mistake there. Manny finished 3rd place last time out. In GT300, the results are exactly the same as they were in the last race as well. Which means the championship lead will go up to 10 points for Carlos Frau in that category. There's one behind as well. As you can see, there's Carlos Alvarez. He's 9th at the moment, but 1 lap down. He's made a pit stop though. Because Miranda's into the pit lane now on half distance as Pablo Lopez is in 4th. About 4 seconds adrift from Reyes, who's just made a small mistake there. So Sturanos gets through on Janis Berto to get into the top 10 overall. Konstantin Grimminger and Andre Leite also come in. So now it's just the top 4 drivers who haven't been into the pit lane just yet. Waiting for Carlos Frau to come in, really, and see where he comes out in comparison to this man. Sven Gilhode, who's gone for the undercut in the BMW. Janis Berto, 2 laps down. It's Chirinos, Valente. As Miranda makes it out the pit lane. There is Andre Leite and Konstantin Grimminger both in. Those 2 were fighting. Grimminger has to go round, or goes through, sorry. Leite, and out goes the Mercedes. There's Happy Bevan. Too far behind him is Moyes Reyes. A relatively close fight between those 2. And there's Pablo Lopez. He's got through on Carlos Alvarez. I was wondering how many stops this race is going to be for these guys, but it looks like it's going to be 1, because we've still got 4 drivers yet to make a stop. I can only presume that the other's going for a bit of an undercut, swapping their race around a little bit. So, lap 24 of 43. At 20 laps to go for these drivers. 23 laps completed for Carlos Frau, who's in the lead of this race. Waiting for him to come in, and then that battle between him and Sven Gilhode will hopefully resume, but Sven has made up some good time while he's been out on his own on the undercut here. Looks like Alfie Bevan now from 2nd place overall. He's going to come into the pit lane here. He's pulling to the right hand side, and is now the moment. Yes, it is. Into the pit lane he comes. Further back, Grimminger's in again. I don't know why. But he is. Here's Sven Gilhode. So there's Alfie Bevan, by the way. Here he is. Behind our car, which is in the pit lane. It caused chaos in the Daytona 250, the car that was given, because it was ended up being parked 90 degrees to his pit apron. Here goes Bevan. On board with them at the moment, as there's the pitmen waiting for their cars. Grimminger's in again, though. I'm not entirely sure why. Out the pit lane comes Alfie Bevan. Grimminger just behind. There's Chirinos there as well. And the Lamborghini not too far behind Grimminger. Lap cars are in the traffic at the moment, as you can see. It's kind of screwing up the going up and down or not, because I go up and down based on track position at the moment instead of the positional position on the right, on the left hand side. But it's Carlos Frau who's still leading. When Sven Gilhode came out the pit lane, I believe the gap was over 40 seconds. I believe it was just under 45 seconds, actually. But he's gone for an undercut. Newer tyres on his car right now. And he's putting them to good effect. I believe he's going to come out in the lead of this race overall. Waiting for both Frau and Lopez to make a pit stop in this race. As Reyes is getting reeled in a little bit by Pablo Lopez. Lopez, who qualified on pole for this race, probably looking to make some inroads into the championship lead held by Carlos Frau at this early stage, but it's not really worked out like that. Issues on lap 1, and then a spin at turn 3, completely on his own, really has put pay to his chances. On Moyes Reyes, though. Some of these drivers, I don't believe there's any kind of obligation for any of these drivers to use both compounds of tyres as Carlos Frau comes into the pit lane. So we'll watch Sven Gilhode now, because this is the important gap to watch. Alvarez goes off in front, but as I was saying, I don't think there's any need for these guys to use both tyre compounds here. It's just about what you're comfortable with. Sven Gilhode is comfortable on the softs. Is Carlos Frau. Gilhode goes through there on the inside. Carlos Frau leads now, but it's too late. You can see that Gilhode goes into turn 1 with Carlos Alvarez not too far behind, and Carlos Frau leaves the pit lane now on the soft tyres again. But he's lost nearly 10 seconds in that undercut. A big loss for him. So the gap between them does grow, but there's still good 17 laps or so for him to close the gap. Alfie Bevan sets the fastest lap of his race on that last lap, and Konstantin Grimminger sets a 39.7. Very quicker than what he did in qualifying, I think. It's the battle for the lead, though. Reyes and Lopez, the final two to come into the pit lane. They need to. Reyes is going to be in a fight with Alfie Bevan, you've got to presume here. And Lopez in a fight with both of them. Could be interesting to watch. No particularly close battles going on. It'll be interesting to see soon how much Carlos Frau can catch up to Sven Gielhard, if indeed he can at all. Chirinos is closing in on Valente. Chirinos has not had the best season so far. He didn't even finish the first round, which was here at Fuji Speedway. A longer race at 250 kilometers. He didn't finish it nevertheless. And so he comes into the day with no points, alongside people like Sven Gielhard, who also doesn't have any coming into today. I think that's going to change. In his season so far, to say how well he's doing in NASCAR and IndyCar at the moment, it's just not going that great for him. C-Force Racing on his own. Let's see if he's closing in any on Alessandro Valente. Looks like his car's kind of revving a little bit down for whatever reason. He loses 1.7 seconds on that lap. Is closing into Alfie Bevan at the moment, which is interesting to see. The gap for the leaders closes in quite dramatically at the moment. Reyes is being caught by Gielhard and Frau at differing rates as Lopez comes into the pit lane now. Reyes carries on though. So Lopez is in. Gielhard takes second place, and we've only got one man left to pit. A 40.7 for Gielhard. What's it going to be for Frau? A 38.8. Incredible. Incredible lap time from Carlos Frau. He's on a mission at the moment. And the gap's 6 seconds. It was 10 when he came out the pit lane. It's already down to 6. Taking more than a second a lap out of the Dutchman. And that is quite an alarming rate, I'm afraid. It is for Gielhard anyway. Bevan gets through on Lopez. Oh, sorry, that's Bevan going wide. As Lopez comes out the pit lane now. That means that Reyes is going to be jumped by Bevan here. Judging by the way that battle went, there's only one way that one can go as well. And I'm afraid that's the wrong way for Moyes Reyes. Seven cars on the lead lap at the moment. Late not too far away from being lapped, but Reyes hasn't pitted yet, which is explaining part of that. The gap between Gielhard and Frau comes down to 5 seconds. In the final sector, that Subaru is very, very quick indeed. 42.3 from Reyes on that last lap. What's it going to be for Gielhard? A 41.0, 1.3 seconds taken out of him, but what's it going to be for Carlos Frau? A 40.2. It's 0.8 of a second for the Spaniard. But that last lap was really, really quick and the fastest of the day so far, as we'll be able to imagine. Here he is on your screen right now, and we'll go on board with him as well, because this is a driving masterclass at the moment from our GT300 Championship leader. Surely we're going to get the fight that we all hope for between these two. Plenty of time for Frau to catch up. 13 laps at the line. Still a good 20 minutes or so. Maybe 25. As Pablo Lopez is in again. Pablo Lopez is into the pit lane again. He crosses the line now, but I wonder what that's for. Is he going to stay in 5th? He's going to stay in 2nd in GT300s, but his overall position is more in danger. Just look at the way this car is handling in the final sector there. The way it closes in on Sven Gielhard. Oh, wide at the final corner though. Mistake from Frau. Four seconds. It was down to 3.5. As Moyes Reyes comes in from the lead, and we've had everybody into the pit lane after 30 laps. 1.3 seconds taken out there for Frau. Moyes Reyes pulls up in his box. Where is Alfie Bevan? That's Konstantin Grimminger. Here's Alfie Bevan. And he surely is going to get through. He does indeed. Back up towards the front. Frau is closing in. A little bit of mention as well to Pablo Lopez now, who's in 7th place. After that second and presumably unscheduled pit stop for him. Interestingly to see that Reyes has put on the softs this time instead of the mediums. You have to use both compounds, but it's all about what you're comfortable with. And to see your driver change halfway through the race, I would find a little bit of a surprise. Oh, Lopez closes so quickly now, and Leite has not got a chance. Leite gets overtaken very easily. That was Lopez's outlap, by the way, with a 2:10.4. He's into 6th place overall. Not going to gain him any more points in the championship, though, I'm afraid. As into the pit lane comes Sven Gilhode. What is that all about? And why has Sven Gilhode come in for a second time? Is that scheduled? It could well be. Oh, he has to reverse to get into his box. That's not ideal. Now, if he comes out on the mediums here, we'll have our answer. But we'll know also that Frau has to come in and put the mediums on as well. Who's going to get through? Bevan goes through. There's Reyes as well, who goes through. Now, is this a tyre thing? It's softs again for Gilhode. What on earth is that all about? Well, he's down to 3rd in GT3 and 4th overall. We're no closer to knowing, really, why that pit stop came about. It's left Frau with half a minute of a lead, with only 11 laps to go at the line. So he's going to be absolutely laughing about this right now. Chuckling away to himself, and could be about to take home a 2nd race win in GT300 this season. It's only round 2. He would have a 10-point championship lead as well to Pablo Lopez, who's a minute and 23 down on him, but going very quickly. 4 seconds quicker than Lucas Miranda on that last lap. Gap's down to 1.5 seconds. Bit of traffic between Moyes Reyes and Alfie Bevan right now. Battle for 2nd is on. Down the inside into the penultimate corner, maybe, but no. Now, of those who scored points in GT3 last time out, which are only 4 cars, only Miranda, Leite and Berto are scoring points. So Miranda came 2nd last time out. He's currently 4th in the class. And Leite is down below him, so Miranda is going to take a championship lead as Reyes comes into contact with Berto there. Pablo Lopez gets in front of Lucas Miranda, by the way. Here's that battle. Miranda gets displaced. He's still going to be in 4th place in that particular race, though. If you want to call it like that, he came in with a 4-point championship lead. And with 4th place, he's going to get 13 points. Leite is next. He's 5th. And he's going to get 5th place points. Going to lose another 2 points, so the championship lead is going to be 6 points for Lucas Miranda. But let's not forget guys like Alfie Bevan, Moyes Reyes who are going to be catching him up fairly rapidly. Johannes Berto also going to score points today, 9th place for him. Which is going to give him an extra 7 points to his tally, bringing him up to 20 for the season so far, put him about 13 points adrift of the championship lead. So all very close in GT3, and as you can imagine, Bevan and Reyes are going to be right up there as well, so I think we're going to have 5 drivers separated by 13 points after the first couple of rounds in GT3. As things stand in GT300, it's going to be Carlos Frau who's going to take the lead. He's on a mission right now. As Reyes just slowly claws back Bevan by a 10th of that lap. Kielhode set his fastest lap of the race so far, going into the 39s. Berta goes wide, but here's Kielhode. Let's go on board with him, maybe for a lap here, because it's an interesting place to go driving. Oh, a bit wide though. That's not the ideal line. The car in front is Johannes Berto, you can see right now. A Nissan. Only Nissan in the race. He didn't drive a Nissan for the first round at Fuji. Instead he drove a Mercedes, I believe. According to the website, anyway. Drove a Mercedes. And it was Porsche victory for Adrian Carmona last time, but he's not returned for this race. So let's hope to see him back in Suzuka, which comes up on the 10th of April, a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, for now, not here. We're on board though with Sven Gielhode, as he tries to close in on Alfie Bevan and Moyes Reyes. All 3 of these didn't score any points in the last round, so gonna need a good one to get themselves underway. Fastest lap of the race so far for Reyes and Gielhode on that last lap. They are both going very quickly compared to what they've been doing before. Frau is beating them all right now. Well, actually, Gielhode is closing in on Carlos Frau, but when your gap's 3/4 of a minute, it's not too much to worry about. A bit of a... Oh, off the road. Alfie Bevan makes a mistake, and Grimminger follows him off. Then gets out of the way to try and not interrupt this battle. I think that was Grimminger anyway, or was he having a moment of his own? I think he was having a moment of his own, actually. Trying to close in on Carlos Alvarez. As Alvarez looks like it's going to be 3rd place for Grimminger again. As I mentioned, Frau will have a 10-point championship lead if he was to keep this up. 2 victories. And Grimminger would already be 18 points adrift. And 8 points away from Lopez. Without all the issues that Lopez had today, then he's definitely got the pace to compete with Carlos Frau, but you've got to keep it clean to be there. And I'm afraid Lopez hasn't done that on this occasion. Into the pit lane again for Konstantin Grimminger. Reyes continues to close, but Gielhode's not closing that quickly to Reyes. You're going to have 7 laps to go at the line, so 8 as they're completing this one. Oh, that's wide for Bevan. As Leite gets through on Miranda there. Here we go. The OS front row driver gets through. on Lucas Miranda. This is a pretty big fight as well, because these two finished second and third last time out. Not quite a battle for the championship lead, but it's close to it. It would close up the championship margin, certainly. But Leite is being reeled in now by Miranda, who I think made a bit of a mistake on that last lap. The Audi straight back down the inside again. Leite tries to turn in when he wants to, has to go a little bit wide to give the room. Goes all over the curb. Miranda's trying to go through. He might actually make that. No, he's pushed out too far wide for that to quite work out. See, the leader's not too far behind them. They might only have to do 42 laps in the end, because Carlos Frau is putting on a show for everyone today. As Grimminger goes off again through that corner, which he's not enjoying too much. Oh, and he's gone off again at the next one. Getting out of the way of Carlos Frau. On the right hand side there. Or is he? No, not for the moment. Stays in front of Frau. He goes straight off the road. Here is the Audi battle though. The battle for the lead in GT3. These guys just got under 7 laps to go now. A fairly good attrition rate actually in this race. 14 starters. Martin Jacek was out on lap 1 and Carl Magnus Borre was out in the first 10 laps, but other than that there haven't been any retirements since then. That's been a good race in that respect. Lap times are going to be for Bevin and Reyes as they go over the line, because this is the fight we really want to be watching. 1 minute 41.0 for Bevin and half a second quicker for Reyes, so good 1.3 seconds quicker for Gilhard, so maybe he's not out of this fight either. Could be a three-way fight for the lead in GT3. Wide for Reyes. Oh, not where you want to be, but these guys pushing hard now, getting down towards the end of the race. They've got lap traffic as well. That's Carlos Alvarez who's just up in front of them. And Sven Gilhard not far behind. If these two fight that much, then Gilhard is going to be right here. Even though he's made 2 stops, he's had some very good pace. Might have even seen a fight between himself and Frau for the overall lead if he didn't make that stop, but he did. And the race. Oh, bit of a slide for Bevin going into the penultimate corner. Bit of a slide on the way out as well. Not handling great. He's on those medium tyres, let's not forget. You don't have to use both compounds in this race. You just have to use which tyres you think are best. Bevin's decided that the mediums are the ones of choice. Reyes has gone for the softs in the second half of the race, despite being on the mediums at the start, which has meant the gaps fluctuated between Bevin and Reyes, but another half a second taken out of Bevin on that lap. Brake disc low. Bevin's pushing hard though. You can see how early he's getting on the throttle out of these corners because he's sliding out of all of them. On board now with the Audi and listen to the noise of that V10. Watching Reyes hunt down Bevin, who's trying to get down the inside of Alvarez through the Coca-Cola curve. He scares Alvarez, almost off the road. Now can Reyes get through as well? Not really. Bevin didn't get a great exit. Off of turn 6. And into the hairpin, there could be a chance here for the GT3 lead. Outside line for Moyes Reyes. Is he going to be able to hang it round there and get the inside for 11? It's going to be close. He's going to get there though. Bevin's not been able to defend, and there's contact, and Sven Gilhard's here as well. The top 3 in GT3 are absolutely nose to tail after 39 laps of racing at the Fuji Speedway. Reyes goes defensive into the penultimate corner. Now Gilhard is here. Look at him on the outside line in the BMW. Trying to get through. Bevin looking for the inside line to the final corner. Is he going to get it? He does. Reyes gives him the room. The two Audis trying to get the traction off the corner. Bevin hasn't really got it at all. And Reyes takes the lead of GT3. As they go on to lap 40, he's given the slipstream to Gilhard. He switches to Bevin to try and keep them as side by side for as long as possible. But there's nothing either of them behind can actually do about this right now. Here comes Valente out of the pit lane. He's about to be in a bit of a mess here. Oh, he's made contact with Bevin, who goes for a little bit of a slide, and that's surely his hopes of winning GT3 over. Full board with Sven Gilhard, because I think it's going to be between him and Moyes Reyes now, with less than 4 laps to go in this race. Can he go around the outside through the Coca-Cola curve? It doesn't look like it. Reyes on the defensive line though. He's going to get a compromised run into turn 6, where he's defending again. And now the exit off of here is very good for Gilhard. It's on the outside line, through this long right-hander heading down towards the hairpin. Trying to get through. Reyes defends. Gilhard to the outside line. He's not late enough or brave enough on the brakes. Cut back again. All over the back of the Audi. But no way through. It's all come down to it all at the very end. 43 laps of racing, 200 kilometres on the menu today. And in the end, it's going to come down to the very final 3 laps in GT3. Bevin's not out of this yet. He's the Audi just in behind, and if these two trip over each other, then he could be inviting himself to the party. Gilhard in the slipstream. What's the straight line speed of that BMW like? Well, in comparison to the Audi, not great. The reason he was able to get through on Bevin last time was because of his exit off of the corner and Bevin's compromised one, which allowed him to get second place in class. Don't forget, this is the battle for second overall, but first in GT3. Carlos Frau was a GT300 car, and he's probably going to take the overall victory here, but this is the fight in class, and Gilhard is incredibly close to Moyes Reyes again. But not close enough. We've seen this before. It's deja vu into turn 6. Not even quite that, because this time Gilhard doesn't even have the run off the corner. On board again with the BMW. Can he get through? Oh, to the outside he goes. It's late on the brakes. But no way through again. Carlos Frau begins his penultimate lap in round 2 of the GT Asia Championship for RACE9 in 2021. The winning margin overall was over a lap back in Fuji. Oh, and down the inside goes Gilhard. It's coming down to a much closer margin than that here for the second time of asking. A good exit off of the turn from Reyes. Look at that. He's got 2 laps to hold on now. His heart will be pumping. Whoever wins this race as well will be 3rd place in the championship, because of the way those guys further up have not quite done as well as maybe they'd hoped. Miranda and Leite. It's going to give them 3rd in the championship here. They'll jump over Berto, who's going to finish in 9th in class. But that's not going to be on their mind right now. They want a class win in the GT Asia Championship. Very good turn 3 there for Gilhard. Is pushing hard in the background. Alfie Bevin goes off the road briefly. But between Reyes and We're seeing it again. It's almost deja vu every time at the moment going into turn 6. Gilhard gets the run off the corner. And maybe Reyes is going to have to defend again. He does. Gilhard stays on the outside. He goes very late on the brakes again. Maybe this is his chance. He is good at that particular portion of the racetrack. He's very good into the hairpin. Oh, bit of a slide. Slide again for Reyes. He goes wide. And Gilhard slips through on the inside line. A penultimate corner, there's a bump. And Gilhard is sent wide by Reyes, who really wants this race win. Can he get down the inside to the final corner for the Audi? He can. Oh, there's contact again. Reyes goes around. Oh, dearie me. Contact at the very last. Bevan has to go round to avoid him. Reyes is down to third, trying to win this race. Gilhard barges his way through. It was messy in the end between the two of them. But in the end, Sven Gilhard looks like he might be able to take a race win. Goodness me. 43 laps of racing, 200 kilometres around the Fuji Speedway. It's all come down to the very final 2 laps. And I'm afraid for Moyes Reyes, it's not gone his way. Sven Gilhard is in the lead of GT3. He might be able to hold on as well because Alfie Bevan had to avoid Reyes, who went for the spin at the final corner. Speaking of the final corner, Carlos Frau is about to go round it. And he does so, taking it perfectly, as he has done to almost every other corner beforehand. Here he comes towards the line. It's going to be Carlos Frau who wins the 200-kilometre race at Fuji, the second round of the RACE9 GT Asia Championship for 2021. Carlos Frau wins again for the second week in a row. Pablo Lopez is going to be second in GT300, but the GT3 battle is the one we want to be watching. Sven Gilhard looks like he's just about going to be able to hold on with a pass on the second to last lap on Moyes Reyes, who made a mistake at this very moment right here. Turn 13 where he came undone. Gilhard sent it down the inside. And Reyes is going to try and get second at the very least. Instead of throwing it down the inside as he did to Gilhard, he's going to get the cutback on Alfie Bevan. Is it going to be enough? The slipstream on his fellow Audi. But I think it's going to be third place in GT3 for Moyes Reyes. It is indeed. Sven Gilhard wins GT3 at Fuji. Great race between those three. Reyes and Gilhard are going to have words to say to each other after that race, I suspect, but it was a very entertaining watch. There comes Alessandro Valente as well, by the way, who comes over the line. They'll come to complete their races. Well, there you have it. A great win by Carlos Frau. A second place. Sven Gilhard, but a victory for him in the GT3 category. That'll just about do it for tonight. We've had the second round of the GT Asia Championship. We'll be back at the Suzuka road course, of course, for the 10th of April for another 200-kilometre race. And make sure you join us once again. A fantastic ending to that one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it all at home as well. But until next time, for everybody here at .race9, it's goodbye for now.